Good evening and welcome back to New Mexico Entertainment Television, where you continue to be in the know for all things events and entertainment in New Mexico. I'm Teresa Robinson, and on tonight's episode, we will be covering our October issue, which is our fall issue. On tonight's episode, we have the band Gilead Rises. We also have representatives from the History and Ghost Tours of Old Town, and Barney Lopez of Launchpad will be discussing Night of the Living cover bands. So, let's get started. The four-piece band Gilead Rises is making their mark on the New Mexico music scene. Their music, a blend of rock, punk, and rockabilly, has truly resonated with fans. We're excited to have the band here in studio to discuss their music and upcoming gigs. Gilead Rises. We want to make sure we get that right. So, guys, thank you for joining us today to talk about your band. I want to start by asking, what is it about this collaboration that works so well?
I would say that it's because we're two couples. They're a couple, we're a couple. It's like basically dealing with two entities, two households. Pretty much if, when we were setting up shows, if one can do it on that side, and one can do it on that side, then they're all doing it.
We're never late. We're never late.
Nope.
Yeah.
See, that is, I love that you bring that up, because when it comes to, we've had the conversation about artists and time management. Yeah. So you guys have that down in spades, yes, being partners in this collaboration.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's awesome. All right. So, of course, there's always that question, what's that unique sound that makes you different from everyone else? So I'm going to ask. I mean, how long did it take for you guys to gel? What, you're four individuals, yes, you may be couples, but four individuals that have their own influences of, music that they listen to. How did it all gel together that it works with this band to create the sound you have?
I think that we just don't have egos about what we do. So everyone brings their own part to it and has their own say in structure and the songs, and we all have our own different influences that we bring to what we do. So I think personally that's what works well for us.
And there's a lot of overlap too. I think that helped, like with the styles of music that we like, there's a lot of, overlap. And so, when we're trying to kind of give an example of like, in a certain song, like writing it together, it's like, oh, it's kind of like that one song that so-and-so does. And it's like, oh, sure. So we're kind of speaking the same language to a certain degree. So.
I don't know. I mean, one day they said, do you want to come downstairs and play drums? And
this is the honest answer.
And I did.
And then she learned how to play the drums.
I had been playing drums in the basement for a month by myself. And then they said, do you want to come try and play with us? And I said, okay.
Yeah. Well, to be real, it wasn't working with me stomping the kick drum and playing the guitar at the same time. So
it's like, we're not going to do the one-man band with the percussion.
Yeah.
They needed someone who could keep time.
Well, let's talk about going back. How did it? I mean, you're in the basement playing by yourself, but really, how did the band come together? How did you guys? How were you formed?
That guy there.
Craig and I knew each other when my old band broke up, and we got together and started jamming some stuff, and then Around Us came on to sing, and we tried out another drummer, and then that happened. And
that happened?
It worked out so great too, because it was always kind of weird to go over for band practice, and like Mags would just be sitting upstairs like with the dogs. It was just it just felt wrong. And then like
and your child, I mean.
Oh, that's
oh
right.
Yeah,
because Wyatt's at all the band practices. He knows the songs, and so he'll be singing, "You've got some itty bitty titties," and I'm like, "Don't say that."
So take that one to school.
Yeah. So he does know all the songs. But yeah, it's like when Mags finally like came downstairs into the basement, but that's when it was like, okay, like this is good, this is right, it fits, it works, yeah.
So I noticed a lot of bands, which I get so excited when I find out about New Mexico bands that I hadn't heard of, or because of course you sing.
Right.
But,
what?
I think there's a type of resilience when it comes to New Mexico bands, both in how they handle their business and in music. So when it comes to living here,
what have you taken environmentally as a New Mexico band that you put into your music and how you handle, gigs or anything like that?
I think it really helps that the music community here is really strong, and it's very, like, amongst the bands, like, it's very incestuous. Like, how many bands are you in now, Steve? He's in 3 different, but there's a lot of like interchange and interplay and everything. And then even just the people who come out, even if they're not performers, even if they're not in a band, like, the people who are on the music scene, you start to see the same people at the same shows, and meet over a beer, and it just, you get a lot of good, like, feedback with that. And you just, I don't know, it's like the song that we have, Burn With You, is really, it's a love song to the underground. Like, I remember I specifically wrote it at Red Gorilla, or like we were at Red Gorilla Studios, and it was after, the community had this pretty major loss. And I was just like, man, just the feeling was right. And just, you have that sense of like, these are my people, like you found your tribe, and even though you don't know everybody's names and you don't know their backgrounds or their stories or stuff, but you just, you kind of feel that sense of camaraderie. And so that's where that song came from, was just, kind of a love song, like an ode to the underground music scene, specifically in Albuquerque.
And I think we have that even amongst any art, really, that kind of cross-pollinates. I mean, she's also an artist. She doesn't just sing. But we have, the different artists that come together, different ones that go and vend at some of the music things, or some of even the burlesque situations and, shows that we have. Those people will come out. We go to their shows. We go to the vending shows. They come to our stuff. It's very much everyone goes and to support everyone else a lot. So I think that's very helpful.
So talking about that, what do you have coming up that we should know about?
Well, the 2 of us tonight.
Right.
She'll be emceeing for Unicorn Burlesque, and I will be the stage manager. But as far as Gilead shows, we have a major one with the Horror Pops coming up on October 8th, yes. And we're also with 12-Step Rebels on that one. So we're really excited about that show. And then we're going to be Joan Jett for Night of the Living Cover
That
Band.
was what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
That was what I was waiting for.
And that's October 21st.
Yep, night 5.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to speak with Barney yesterday about the event and just how that all came together. I find it fascinating because, there's bands that cover and then there's bands that write their own material. So do you get a kick out of kind of taking a break from, okay,
totally,
I just want to sing what somebody already knows? And what's it like performing at that show that's been around for over 20 years?
I know, and Barney's a beast just because he's dealing with 90 bands this time.
Yeah,
like just the amount of work that he's put into this is so shout out to him for all the work he's doing. But no, last year, which was our first year as a band performing for that, we picked Queen, which seemed like a great idea, and I feel like we nailed it.
With how many weeks?
6 weeks. 6 weeks, and we learned all the Queen songs and
Bold.
stuff. We even did the first part of Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. It was just one of those like, oh yeah, we all know the songs. Like, how hard could it be? It turns out very difficult. Yeah, very hard. Because I was like I had the easiest part. All I have to do is memorize the lyrics. But like the musically, they were very complex. And that was so Joan Jett, by comparison, is much easier. We've had a lot more time. We decided on Joan Jett on my birthday in April. And so we've had plenty of time to kind of dive in and get really comfortable with the music and stuff. But yeah, that was a bold choice.
And I also think that it gives you an appreciation for the people who played those songs and what they brought to them, especially with some of the songs that we're doing that are from the Runaways. It's like, wow, you were 16 years old when you did this. God. And granted, I've been playing for like 2.5 years, but still, I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. And for me, I like it a lot because it just, I don't know, I think it helps me with my drumming as far as what I'm adding and all of that. So, and then I can in turn add those to our songs as we're writing. So
Very nice. So where can everybody find out what gigs you have coming up, about you? Where can they go? The online destination, and just know it's going to pop up on the screen in here.
Sounds right here.
Right. Link below, like and subscribe.
There you go. It is right there. Just search Gilead
Like and
Rises.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
And then Bandcamp and stuff. Like, do we have?
there's a Bandcamp account as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bandcamp. Of course there is.
Of course.
Yep.
Everything online.
Yeah.
Bandcamp.
Gilead Rises. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in and doing this. I
Definitely.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for
I'm
having
looking
us.
forward
Absolutely.
to seeing you do Jet.
Oh yeah.
I was very excited about that. But thank you for coming in and sharing your story of how you got together and what inspires you.
Awesome.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
We'll be back.
History and Ghost Tours of Old Town Albuquerque is New Mexico's original year-round walking tour celebrating over 20 years in business. If you want to know all the hidden treasures, haunts, and secrets Old Town has to offer, ABQ Tours is your go-to. We're happy to have Charlie and Misty here with us to talk more about the business, upcoming tours, and why people keep coming back for more.
Charlie, Misty, thank you for joining us today to talk more about the tours. Tell us how the history of the tours, how it all began.
Well, it all became established way back in 2000, April 1st, April Fool's Day.
Of course.
And it was inspired by a ghost tour from the old Alamo in San Antonio, Texas. And it was decided that a ghost tour was needed in Old Town Albuquerque. And so we started our ghost tours with very humble beginnings. And after a number of years, right around 2007 or so, we expanded to include the historical tours there in Old Town. So today, ABQ Tours have 6 and 7 daily tours that's offered to the public,
Wow.
both private and public. And starting October the 14th, we're going to be bringing back our very popular Moonlight tours at 10 p.m. It's a local favorite. It's because of the stillness and the darkness and the creepy ambiance of Old Town.
I'm telling you, people love that. And you're celebrating 21 years this year of the
More than
right?
that, 22 and a half years.
Wow. What is it about the tours that keep people coming back?
Well, our tour guides are not volunteers. Our tour guides are highly trained professional tour guides, and it takes a long time to become one. And what they do, they're trained professionals. They give a unique tour through their storytelling skills, you see. And there are many ways to tell the same story,
Yeah.
but and that's our success. So people come back over and over again to hear pretty much the same tour, but in a different way each and every time with a different tour guide. And that's what brings them back. And because of that diversity, we have many guests who return every year. For example, on Halloween, they have the same group of people. It becomes part of their tradition. They come back, they get all dressed up, bring the hot cocoa, and it's part of their Halloween experience. And we have guests that come multiple times a year. And they bring their family and friends who come visiting them in Albuquerque. What better way to enjoy, the area by taking them on a tour? Because they know what to expect, but their friends do not. And it always brings a sense of satisfaction by showing these families and friends what they know about Old Town in Albuquerque. So they come multiple times a year. And it's the highest compliment of a tour is to have guests return to our tour. I mean, there's no better way of saying thank you, I'm telling you, and show the loved ones. Now, we do have many guests that cannot attend our public tour for various reasons, mobility issues. Maybe perhaps they have a family pet, a dog who gets a little nervous around the people, or very young children. And, we are crowd friendly. And unlike many other tours, we offer the private tours. So if a parent wants to bring their children on and they want us to accommodate the children, focus more on the children than the parents, why we do that too. We make a kid-friendly tour that's kind of spooky in a kid way, and there's nothing more exciting than to see a little 8 or 9-year-old walking excitedly next to you, going on to the next stop, asking a million questions. You got them. You know what I'm saying? So it's a wonderful feeling. And it's this variety that separates us from all the other tours in New Mexico. And this is what makes us New Mexico's oldest and most famous ghost walk. We encourage all of our guests and soon to be guests, hopefully, to take a look at our reviews. The reviews says it all. Yeah. TripAdvisor is a tough one. And we are a 5-star, what do you call it? It's the TripAdvisor Hall of Fame. That's what I want to tell you. We are a member of the TripAdvisor Hall of Fame recipient for multiple years running. So everybody should read the reviews, come on down, make a reservation, and enjoy one of the best guided tours in all of New Mexico.
Well, you definitely have something for everyone. So what are some of the upcoming tours that are happening here in the next couple of months, definitely heading into the Halloween season?
Well, we always have our public tours every day at 12 p.m. for a historical tour. Then we also have our public 8 p.m. tour. But like Charlie had stated, on October 14th, on Friday and Saturday nights, we will be offering a 10 p.m. Moonlight tour. And then we offer our private tours. For history, we have a 10 a.m., a 2 p.m. time slot, and then the ghost tours are at 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and 8 p.m.
Wonderful. So where can people learn more about the tours?
Well, they can always go online to www.abqtours.fun, or they can call us at 505-246-8687. That's just 246 tours.
Wonderful. Well, Charlie and Misty, thank you again for coming in and talking with us.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on another successful year of tours.
Thank you very much. We encourage you to come on down and take the tour yourself.
Exactly.
That
But you
definitely
don't
will be
like
the
that.
history one.
Well, the history. You want them coming home with you, right?
I know, like, I don't.
I'll
my
give
little
you a
friend.
great history tour, I promise.
Thanks again. We'll be back.
For years, Launchpad has been providing fans with some of the greatest music events in the state. Their annual event, Night of the Living Cover Bands, has stood the test of time, becoming a beloved event bands and music lovers look forward to each year. We're glad to have Barney Lopez, festival organizer, to tell us more about it.
Barney, thank you very much for taking time out to talk with me today. I know you are a very busy man, so I appreciate the time.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. It's really awesome.
I wanted to learn more about this Night of the Living Cover Bands, from the friends and artists that I know that take part every year. They talk highly about it. And now you're back after COVID, which is great, more live music. Tell me, how did the idea of this event come about?
So this event has been going on since before I even started working at Launchpad. Joe Anderson started the event with some friends probably about 20-ish years ago. Or 15 to 20 years ago is about when it started. And it started just as a one night only kind of event where they thought it would be fun to get some local bands together just to like do cover sets and dress up in costumes. And it ended up being just like a really popular thing. So they brought it back again the next year. And the first few years, it was just kind of a one night only thing. And then it started growing into 2 nights and then into like 2 different, for a while there, we were running the Low Spirits venue over on 4th Street and Manal around that area. And so they had done it for 2 nights at both venues. So you could go to 2 different venues and see it. And then when we had to close Low Spirits, we ended up making them 3 weekends or 2 weekends here at Launchpad. And the shows just keep doing so well. They sell out. Tons of people come out to see them. So we've just grown it each year. So this year we're doing 4 weekends of shows, or 8 nights of cover bands.
I saw that. I mean, wow. I mean, that's an accomplishment of how much this event has grown.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a total of 96 bands, but I think I added a couple more. I think we're close to 100 bands right now.
100 bands. Dang.
Yeah, which a lot of people comment that they didn't even realize there was 100 bands in Albuquerque. Which there are. There's even way more than that. There's probably like 350 bands in town.
It's interesting that you bring that up because I know here in this town, depending on the environment you're dealing with, it's who you know. So is it that with all the years that you've been doing this event, that the Launchpad's been doing the event, do you work with like your kind of special choice bands, or do you open it up and for anybody that thinks I got the chops to do this?
We have an open submission process. So usually come May or so, I have a Google form that I set up that any band can submit to. So any band in town can submit. And we share that around for a few months to try and get bands signed up. And then probably in the summer is when I start going out and reaching out to specific bands. Because musicians are their own type of artists, and they have their own quirks and stuff, and some of them are better at jumping on, submitting and getting on the shows, and some of them just they've got a whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not their forte. So that's where I step in and I jump in. So I have a list of bands, like a master list of Albuquerque bands that I'll look through in the summer, in the early summer, and kind of go poke some of the bands that I'm like, hey, we're doing this. I know it's really early. I know it's like way too early to be thinking about Halloween in May, but so I usually try and make sure I'm reaching out to bands. A big goal for the festival is that we like to have original local bands doing a cover set, as opposed to like regular cover bands, tribute bands that do this all the time. Part of the fun is getting to see some bands who we normally see them just play their own original songs all through the year. This one time a year, they show up as Van Halen or Beastie Boys or whatever it may be. Like, that's what I feel makes it feel really special. So usually I'm reaching out to like bands that we book regularly here at the Launchpad all year long to try and convince them sometimes, or just remind them that Night of the Living cover bands is coming and they should sign up.
I know that you just mentioned there's like almost 100 bands. So I know we can't list them all in this interview, but just tell us tell us some of the local bands that will be taking part this year.
So we've got some pretty cool local bands. It's been interesting. So the pandemic happened, right? And post the lockdowns, post the quarantines, there's been a bunch of new, exciting young bands coming out. And it's really interesting, like as a music booker here in Albuquerque, to kind of see this new class of bands that are coming up. And so like there's a bunch of bands on here that I'm really excited about because I'm tapped in to the scene, and I know a lot of these bands, but there's some like people that I know, other musicians even, who are like, I've never even heard of that band. Who are these bands? So I feel like Night of the Living Cover Band is a great night of the year to kind of get a scope of the Albuquerque music scene and all the different things that are going on in the scene coming up. And some of the like veteran bands who haven't played in a while will sometimes come out of, they'll dust off the guitar to do a special cover set for this. Yeah, so some bands I'm looking forward to. Jimmy Climbs is a cool young band that's up and coming. They're doing Led Zeppelin this year, and that should be pretty cool. I'm also looking forward to Illegal Aliens are doing System of a Down, and System of a Down is just one of my favorite bands to like throw on at the end of the night at Launchpad, so I'm excited to see someone cover it. There's also Hooks and the Huckleberries are doing Alanis Morissette. That should be neat.
Oh, that's
Levi,
that
yeah.
would be interesting.
Adam is a phenomenal rock vocalist, country vocalist. I'm interested to see how he tackles Alanis. I think that'll be pretty fun. Every year we have Levi Platero here, and he's an amazing guitar player, probably one of the best in town. And he's going to be doing the Eagles this year, which, I mean, some people, everyone feels one or two ways in the Eagles. And I like it.
I love the Eagles. I know I may get flack, but sorry.
Yeah, same. I'm like, let's do it. Take it easy all the way. The Isley Brothers, someone's doing the Isley Brothers this year. Jer Project is, and that's going to be cool. And then there's also Santana on accordion will be really neat.
Did you just say Santana on accordion?
Yeah, Santana on accordion by Casey Mraz and Los Metamorphos. So wow. Casey's a great accordion player, and he's learning all the Santana's like solos on the accordion.
Wow.
Yeah, that one will be fun. Someone's doing the Nickelback this year. Savings, who's like a newer artist, is doing Nickelback. There's actually like a little theme going on of bands that I think most people don't actually want to see, but it would be all right to see their friends cover it. So that we've got Nickelback, Limp Bizkit, Creed. Yeah, those are the three that come to mind right away that people are like usually get made fun of in the music community, but these bands are like leaning into it, and they're doing these like kind of ridiculous bands, especially looking back on it now, 20 years past the bands have been like relevant.
Where can people find out more about the event?
They can find it all at launchpadrocks.com. We've got all the events are listed there with all of the posters. You can see everyone that's covering throughout the entire 4 weekends of shows.
Barney, thank you very, very much for talking with us today. We are looking forward to these shows, and congratulations on another successful year.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Hope to see you there.
We'll be back.
This is your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. Hosted by the Hispano Chamber, the Hispanic Heritage Awards highlight the economic impact and cultural diversity of our community. The Hispanic Heritage Awards takes place on October 14th at Hotel Albuquerque in Old Town. The Sahara County Farmers Market offers produce in season, baked goods, live music, and other vendors. The festival takes place through October 29th at Ralph Edwards Park in Truth or Consequences. Frida Kahlo, The Life of an Icon, is an immersive biography journaling through the life of one of the most influential artists of all time. The exhibit runs until October 30th at the Immersive Pavilion at the Sawmill District in Albuquerque. This has been your New Mexico Entertainment in 60. For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.
Thank you for joining us for this month's New Mexico Entertainment Television, where you continue to be in the know for all things events and entertainment. Join us next month as we will be discussing our holiday issue. Have a good night.
For more events and entertainment, visit nmentertains.com.